What if the world's most powerful air force just got exposed? A report tied to the US Congress may have revealed something the Pentagon still refuses to fully explain. According to findings attributed to the Congressional Research Service, the United States may have lost or suffered damage to 42 aircraft during a 6-week conflict with Iran. F-35 stealth fighters, F-15 strike jets, refueling tankers, surveillance aircraft, drones. And if even part of those numbers are accurate, this wasn't just another Middle East operation. It may have been the first real warning sign that America's decades-long dominance in the sky is no longer guaranteed. Before we break this down, you need to understand why this report caused so much controversy. The Congressional Research Service operates under the Library of Congress. Its role is to provide research directly to lawmakers. It's considered nonpartisan, meaning it isn't supposed to protect either political party or presidential administration. That's why this story exploded online. This wasn't framed as a foreign leak or enemy propaganda. The report reportedly gathered information from Pentagon briefings, CENTCOM statements, and media coverage before surfacing publicly on May 13th. Yet, even now, the Department of Defense still hasn't released a complete official breakdown of losses. And that opens the door to a much bigger conversation. For decades, the United States operated under one assumption: American air power was untouchable. That belief survived because most U.S. wars were fought against countries that simply couldn't challenge American aircraft in the sky. Afghanistan couldn't. Iraq couldn't. Libya couldn't. So the victories kept coming. The legend kept growing. And eventually, many people inside and outside the military started treating American air superiority like a law of nature. Then came Iran. Not a superpower. Not even a true peer competitor. A heavily sanctioned country that, according to this congressional report, may have managed to damage or destroy 42 American aircraft in just 6 weeks. If these numbers are true, then this conflict changed far more than people realize. Because this is what happens when military mythology collides with reality. And once you look at the losses one by one, the story becomes even more shocking. According to the report, the U.S. allegedly lost 4 F-15E Strike Eagles, 1 F-35A Lightning II, 1 A-10 Thunderbolt II, 7 KC-135 refueling tankers, 1 E-3 Sentry AWACS aircraft, 2 MC-13OJ Commando II aircraft, 1 HH-6OW rescue helicopter, 24 MQ-9 Reaper drones, and 1 MQ-4C Triton surveillance drone. But the single loss that sent shockwaves through the defense world was the F-35. 1 F-35A Lightning II reportedly shot down over Iranian airspace. If you follow military aviation, you understand why that matters. The F-35 is America's flagship stealth fighter. It was designed specifically to penetrate advanced air defenses using stealth shaping, sensor fusion, and electronic warfare. For years, the assumption was simple. Adversaries might detect it briefly, but reliably targeting and destroying one was considered nearly impossible. Iran may have just shattered that assumption. Iranian officials publicly celebrated the claim, arguing their forces became the first in history to shoot down an F-35. The United States never formally confirmed the loss, but critics argue Washington also never delivered a clear denial, convincing enough to shut down the speculation. And that's where the implications become dangerous. Stealth technology was never meant to make aircraft literally invisible. It was designed to reduce detection and delay engagement long enough for missions to succeed. But radar systems, passive detection networks, and layered air defenses have evolved dramatically over the last decade. If Iran truly tracked and destroyed an F-35, then one of America's biggest strategic advantages suddenly looks far less certain. And the stealth fighter wasn't even the most strategically painful loss. 7 KC-135 Stratotankers were reportedly destroyed or heavily damaged. Most people don't think about refueling aircraft, but modern air warfare depends on them completely. Tankers are what allow fighter jets to travel massive distances, stay airborne longer, and continue strike operations deep inside hostile territory. Without them, range collapses. Missions become shorter. Air campaigns lose flexibility almost immediately. What makes these losses especially alarming is where tanker aircraft normally operate. They usually stay far away from danger, well outside contested airspace. Yet, according to the report, Iran still managed to hit them. One tanker allegedly went down over Iraq with all crew members killed. That suggests something military planners take very seriously. Iran's missile reach may have extended far beyond what many analysts publicly expected. Then there's the drone war. 24 MQ-9 Reaper drones reportedly destroyed in just 6 weeks. The MQ-9 isn't some cheap consumer drone. It's one of the core platforms behind America's drone warfare strategy, used for surveillance, reconnaissance, and precision strikes across multiple conflicts for nearly 2 decades. But those previous wars came against opponents with limited air defense capabilities. Iran was different. According to the report, layered surface-to-air missiles, electronic warfare systems, GPS jamming, and coordinated intercept tactics may have overwhelmed large portions of the drone fleet. And here's where the situation becomes even more serious. The MQ-9 production line was reportedly shut down in 2025. That means replacing destroyed drones quickly may not even be possible anymore, which exposes a major weakness modern militaries rarely talk about openly. Drones dominate battlefields only when the enemy lacks the ability to fight back effectively. Against a state military with advanced defenses, the equation changes fast. Then came one of the most strategically devastating losses of all: an E-3 Sentry AWACS aircraft reportedly destroyed. This aircraft isn't just another plane. It functions like the brain of the entire air battle. It tracks aircraft movement, coordinates operations, detects threats, and provides commanders with real-time awareness across the battlefield. Losing one doesn't just remove a single aircraft. It weakens the effectiveness of every other platform operating nearby. And unlike many combat aircraft, replacing an AWACS quickly isn't easy. But the most controversial part of this entire story may have been what happened during a supposed rescue operation deep inside Iran. According to the report and regional claims referenced in it, an F-15E was shot down over Iran, leaving one crew member stranded in the Zagros Mountains. The U.S. described the mission that followed as a rescue operation. Critics, however, argue there was more happening behind the scenes. American forces reportedly pushed hundreds of kilometers into Iranian territory, reaching areas near Isfahan province, home to some of Iran's most sensitive nuclear infrastructure. Iranian officials claimed the real objective involved highly enriched uranium stockpiles, not just recovering a pilot. According to those claims, the operation failed after Iranian defenses detected the incursion, forcing U.S. forces to destroy some of their own aircraft and equipment to prevent sensitive technology from falling into enemy hands. If accurate, that would transform the narrative completely. Not a simple rescue mission, a failed deep strike operation hidden behind humanitarian messaging. And all of this raises one uncomfortable question. How did Iran manage to make things this difficult for the United States in the first place? Part of the answer is geography. Iran's terrain naturally favors defense. The Zagros Mountains create predictable flight corridors. Critical facilities are buried deep underground. Targets are spread across enormous distances, forcing attacking aircraft into longer and riskier operations. But geography alone wasn't enough. Iran also built a layered air defense network designed specifically to complicate American air campaigns. Long-range missile systems, mobile launchers, passive radar systems, electronic warfare tools, and decentralized defenses combined to create an environment far more dangerous than previous U.S. conflicts. And unlike weaker adversaries in past wars, Iran never tried to match the US plane for plane. Instead, it focused on asymmetric warfare. Cheap drones overwhelming expensive systems. Missile barrages exhausting interceptor inventories. GPS jamming disrupting navigation. Mobile defenses constantly repositioning to avoid destruction. In simple terms, Iran designed its strategy around forcing America to spend massively while defending against comparatively inexpensive attacks. And according to this report, it may have worked. That's why the implications go far beyond Iran itself. Because Iran isn't even considered a true military peer of the United States, which means military planners around the world are probably asking a far more serious question now. If Iran could inflict this level of damage, what would happen in a conflict against China or Russia? Countries across the world have been studying this conflict carefully. China, Russia, NATO members, regional rivals. Because for decades, American air superiority wasn't just military power. It was psychological dominance. The belief that U.S. air power could enter any battlefield, strike at will, and leave with minimal losses. This report challenges that image directly. Not by proving the United States is weak, but by proving that even the world's strongest military is not untouchable. The Pentagon still hasn't released a full public accounting of the alleged losses, and the Congressional Research Service reportedly noted that numbers could still rise as more information emerges. And that alone may be the most important detail of all. Because if this conflict really exposed the limits of modern American air dominance, then the consequences won't stay in the Middle East. They'll reshape military strategy worldwide. So what do you think? Did this conflict expose a real shift in global military power, or are these claims being exaggerated for political and media attention? Drop your thoughts in the comments, subscribe for more deep geopolitical breakdowns, and stay tuned for the next video.